Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Michelle Brown with Leading Educators for your Week 5, Day 21 Distance Learning lesson. In all of our videos, you can expect to see a list of the resources and materials that you need for the lesson, a quick overview of what you're going to be learning, a quick model for some of the reading, thinking, speaking, and writing that the lesson requires, and a preview of the learning for upcoming lessons. Yesterday, we continued our reading of the Quality of Life Indicators article by analyzing the media and finding the main idea of the text. Today, as we reread the text, we're going to focus on how quality of life can be impacted by government programming and how it's measured by the United Nations. Always remember to share your learning, complete the weekly fluency activity, and do at least 20 minutes of additional reading in a text of your choice after completing the lesson activities for the day. Now, it's time for our riddle of the day. Today we're going to be doing another pictogram puzzle. As usual, I'll give you some quiet time to look at this image and think about the word or the phrase that it represents. I'll give you 15 seconds to think about it before I show you the answer. If you'd like some more time to think, go ahead, pause the video now because I'm about to show you the answer. Cliffhanger. So, in case you haven't heard of this before, a cliffhanger is when a story leaves off at a particularly exciting point. Oftentimes, for example, if a book has a sequel, it will end with a cliffhanger to leave you really eager to read the next book. Okay. Now, we've got our warm brains. What else you'll need for the lesson are the things listed here. You'll need Lesson 21, that's on page 62 of your packet, the note catcher, that's on page 63, the actual text on pages 45 through 48, and something to write with, like a pencil or a pen. So let's quickly recap our guiding questions. As we're reading this Quality of Life Indicators article, our big guiding questions are, what is needed for each of us to have a good quality of life, and how is our life's destiny determined by the quality of our lives? And here's our learning target for the day. Let's read it together. I can analyze and develop a deep understanding of the text by drawing conclusions and citing text evidence in my answers to questions about complex texts. In our past lessons, we've discussed how national and local governments measure quality of life. Today, we'll explore the indicators that are used by the United Nations. We'll also look at the role that government programming plays in quality of life. Our reading, thinking, talking, and writing will all be connected to those two focus areas. Let's get started with our close reading activity. I'd like you to reread the article with a close emphasis on paragraphs 7 through 18. As you read, mark the different examples of government programming and think about the impact they have on quality of life. Also, mark the ways in which the United Nations measures quality of life and think about how this compares to what you've learned about the indicators that other entities like national and local governments use. Now, what is the United Nations? The United Nations is an organization comprised of 193 countries from around the world who work together in support of maintaining international peace and security, protecting human rights, delivering humanitarian aid, promoting sustainable development, and upholding international law. It gathers data from countries all around the world to inform its recommendations to countries. And so let me do a quick model of what this reading might look like. So for example, here we've got paragraph 14. The United Nations Development Program measures the quality of life. It makes a yearly report to the United Nations using the Human Development Index, HDI. The HDI looks at 4 measures of quality of life, then combines them to get a total number. Life expectancy at birth for children born that year, average years of schooling for people older than 25, years of schooling expected for a 5-year-old child, income per person. Okay? So you can see what I underlined are these pieces of what the HDI looks at. And one thing I noticed here is that these seem to be a mix of the economic indicators that national governments use and more personal indicators that local governments use. So now it's your turn. I'd like you to pause the video and do your own close reading now. Welcome back. For the rest of the lesson, you will be thinking, talking, and writing about the topics you explored during your close reading. First, you will think about the ways that government programming should be used to support education, health, and other people in need. So to do this, you may want to look over the examples that you marked in the text about government programming and then think about whether those are helpful to people. You can also make notes about other ways government programming might be used to improve the quality of life. Then you'll talk with a family member, caregiver, or friend about how to cite examples from the text and why this method of writing can support your analysis skills. In doing that, you may want to review the examples that you marked during your close reading. Why is it important that the author included those examples in the article? Without those examples, would the article be any less interesting or effective in making its points? Finally, you'll do your daily writing tasks. Today, you'll be answering two questions. First, a comprehension question. Revisit the text to determine the answer to this question. How does the United Nations measure the quality of life of people annually or each year? Then you'll be answering and analyze the text question. According to the text, what impact does government programming have on the quality of life of the people living in a particular area? Again, you can use all those notes that you took during your close reading to help you answer those questions. So before I leave you to finish your lesson, let's review a few quick reminders. First, as always, if you get stuck or have any questions about the lesson, you can reach out directly to your English teacher via email using the format seen here. And in our next lesson, we're going to think about the role of physical activity in quality of life, using evidence from the article and other sources to support our opinion. We've come to the end of another video. Until next time, don't forget to talk about your lesson with someone. Read 20 minutes and complete a reading log entry. The reading log is at the front of your packet. And finally, practice, practice, practice reading fluency using the first or second page of your weekly reading. Enjoy your learning, and I'll see you soon.